Hi guys, how you all doing today? Bless you all for tuning in and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Trader Akan. Over the course of the week, I've been having lots of requests to make a video on YouTube since it's going to give a little bit more of a duration, extended duration to explain how I trade, how I see the market, how I analyze, and also how I go about my analysis. So yeah, based on your request, thank you first of all, my followers on Instagram. Based on your request, I'm going to be starting a series. Okay, I'm going to be making videos going forward. How I approach the market and my trades, ideas, etc. And this is obviously going to be based on ICC. Like some of you might know, I trade ICC, meaning indication, correction, and continuation. Yeah, I do upload Instagram reels, but I do believe, just as you've stipulated, or like a few of my followers have stipulated, that it doesn't give enough duration for them to grasp much that they would want to. So yeah, I'll be starting this YouTube series to try and share my knowledge and share what I have to offer. So yeah, if you're new to the channel, thank you for tuning in, and also ensure that you subscribe and turn on the notification button so you can always be updated and notified when I drop new videos. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you very much as well. And do remember to press the subscribe button and also press the like, and also ensure you turn on your notification button so you get to see and not miss any video that I post, because trust me, starting very low like this, but trust me, you're going to be having lots of beneficial and educational videos that's probably going to change your life. Who knows? Yeah, so um, today I will start with the very basics. ICC, obviously, indication, correction, and continuation. Today's video is going to be based on uh, indication. I'm going to be teaching indication, or yeah, Sai did teach ICC, but it seems as if a lot of people have declared their interest and liking or understanding better the approach I give to trading ICC. So yeah, I want to say thank you for showing interest and all the great comments that I've had. That's is more fuel to light up the fire, and it's only going to bring out more productivity, and hopefully you continue to learn something. Yeah, let's put hands together, all hands on deck, and we can push this ship to a very prolific place. Yeah, so without further ado, let's jump onto the charts, and then I can take you on indication today, and hopefully by the end of this video you would have gotten something. For this example, we're going to be using the XAU charts, and yeah, obviously I trade XAUUSD, NAS 100, Euro USD, and BTC USD. I do trade these time frames seen above here: the daily, 4 hours, 1 hour, and 15 minutes. Those are my main time frames that I trade with. So when I jump on the chart, what I usually do is go to the daily time frame. Since I'm a day trader, I look at the overall trend of the market. At a point, the market was very bearish, as you could see here, with a series of higher highs and higher lows, highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows, because markets kept breaking structure to the downside, which you can see here, kept breaking structure to the downside. All right. And once I have known what the direction of the market is, I will be looking to go with the flow of the market, taking decisions accordingly. At this point, since we've seen that the market has been bearish, okay, let's imagine the market was there. We'll be looking for sales instead of buys, right? But
Let's go straight to what we actually have to do today, which, like I said, I trade ICC. ICC and ICC means indication, correction, and continuation. Sure you've spelled that right. Yeah. Indication, correction, and continuation. That is what ICC means. So today we are going to be dealing with indication, and on subsequent videos that will follow after this one, we will take up correction and continuation. Just to approach it simply and make it understandable, we are going to take it one after the other. I don't want to rush you guys into getting complex, getting the whole thing complex. Yeah, so I'm going to remove this for now. So indications. What are really indications? Indications, indication, indication. You could just understand it as price creating a new high or a new low. That's simply what indication is. Indication is simply when price creates a new high or a new low. Okay, I'm going to soon practicalize that. This is the daily time frame. So currently, we can see that price was a little bit consolidating here until it did what? It broke with this very bullish candle. So having broken this zone, what is that? That is our indication. So we'll mark that out. Price broke the zone and then broke the zone. But for the sake of this video, we are going to use this zone. So this is our indication candle. This candle has indicated that above here, right, I will be bullish. Below here, I will be bearish. Indication, price is literally indicating that, oh, I am likely to proceed to the upward direction above here. Okay. If that does not really make sense for now, for those of you that are new to ICC, don't worry, just stick to it and you understand as we proceed. So normally I would come, this is the daily time frame, don't forget. And then currently we can see that we are bullish, okay? So we are not going to be looking for sales. But anyways, let's just proceed. On the 4 hours, we'll go down for more redefinements, okay? So I said indication is when price actually breaks a high, okay, giving a when it produces a new high, breaks a particular zone, giving us a new high or a new low. So at this point, this was price trying to break this zone and kept struggling, but at the point, price later broke the zone. This became our indication. This is now our indication. All right. Indication is when price actually breaks a particular zone, right? Breaks a zone and gives a new high or a new low. In this case, we are bullish. So we have this candle break here giving us indication. This candle, this move is our indication indication move. All right. Like I said, we have three phases: indication, correction, and continuation. We're going to be dealing with indication. So you could also see that this was a level which price has also broken. Indication. All right. This whole move is our indication because price broke this previous high. We can also call it resistance. Broke this level, giving us indication. That simply means that price breaking this level is telling you that, okay, I can buy above here. All right. We don't want to be talking more of correction today, but Normally, we would wait for price to correct, and when it comes back here, we want to continue. But let's not deal with that today. We'll deal with indication. All right. I'll give you a few examples. I'll clear this now and give you a few examples. Price was on a downtrend, giving us lower highs and lower lows, lower highs and lower lows, lower highs and lower lows. What happened here? This was a lower high, right? So we had a zone, we marked that out. What happened? You could see that price having, stopped continuing to the downside and decided to change direction to the upside. It gave us indication. Price does not change direction without showing you, okay, breaking a previous zone. It doesn't do that. It's definitely going to show you that both a particular zone have the potential to buy or below a particular zone have the potential to sell. As you can see, price was making lows, 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 lows. What happened? Price broke the zone, okay, and gave us indication. If you check closely, you see that at the point price was struggling to break the zone. We had a retest, price struggled and even rejected here until it later broke the zone, giving us indication. So move, this whole move is our indication. All right. So I hope that makes sense. That when price breaks a zone, a particular zone, could be a support zone, or a resistance zone. All right. The move that breaks that zone is called indication. In terms of sell, you could see here that price also broke this zone. Look, there was a support zone here, and price did what? Pierced through and broke the zone. This was an indication. Adding all that confluences, if price had later come down back here, we would have looked out for correction and an opportunity to consider the markets downwards. But price had told you, I am tired of going down, so I'll be going up. That's why it stopped making new lows and instead proceeded to break, giving us a new high, which became our indication. So I said when price indication is when price breaks a previous high or low, all right, and gives us a new high or a new low. In this case, this is our indication. In this case, this is our bearish indication. All right. Price breaks a previous high breaks a previous high, giving us indication. So it's as simple as that. No, nothing to be so complex about. When price, okay, said indication is when price breaks a previous previous must have spelled that at high or low, giving a new high or low. It's you can define it as you want. It can also be price, but it could also be price breaking a resistance, um, or support zone, forming a new high or low. It all depends on how you want to, define it, but just know that when price breaks a previous zone, giving a new high or low, that is our indication. In this case, we had indication here because this was a zone, this was a high, price broke it, this was a lower high, price broke it, giving us indication, came corrected. All right, so anything above here, we'll be looking to buy, and anything below here, we'll be looking to sell. But that's the story for another day. The main deal today was to you talk about indication. And let it be known that indication ICC works better on trending markets. Trending markets. All right, trending markets. At a point, we could see clearly. Let me use bearish examples. Price was pretty much on a downtrend, lower high, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. Where would you say are our indications? Look at this zone. There was a zone here. There was a support zone. Price broke the zone. So this is our indication. Okay. I'm going to mark that out. All right. This is our indication. This was a zone, a support zone, and price did what? Price broke. So I'm going to mark that out. This was a zone which price later broke. I am going to mark that out. Okay. So this is an indication, right? Price having broken the zone and giving a new low. This was an indication. Price having broken the zone and given a new low. In fact, this was an indication because at the point this was a low, price has broken, so giving us indication. All right, price breaks a low, giving us indication. All right, you could see how clear it is on a trending market. Look at what happened when price came back. Boom, broke back below here, and then gave us this lower high. It continued to the downside, took out the zone. We're going to leave that story for another day, but let's just deal with indications. Please, if there is anything that it's a bit vague or you're not getting it right, replay the video and try to take down notes if you do not understand. Indication is simply when price breaks a previous high or a previous low, all right, giving a new high or a new low. But in this case, price breaks this previous low, giving us this new low. Price breaks this previous low, giving us this new low. Price breaks this previous low, giving us this new low. That those are indications. All right. Yeah, I just hope this makes sense to you. You understand this. I also want to note that to get better results, it's always good to mark out your zones on the higher time frame. As a day trader, I do mark out 4 hours and 1 hour, and I look out for the 15 minutes for execution. I am going to explicate that on another video, and then we will reach where we have to marry everything together. Please, let's look for another example. If you could see, price struggled here to break this zone. Okay, this was a strong resistance zone, and then what later happened? Price later broke this zone with this candle. So this what's this? This is simply indication. So this is price telling you that over this zone I am likely to buy to be bullish, right? And below the zone I am likely to be bearish. Price indicated to the downside, to the upside rather. This is a bullish indication, right? I'll give another example for a bearish indication. As you can see, price was making higher highs and higher highs and higher lows. Price fell to make a new high. I say that because this high is lower than this high. So I'm going to draw this. I usually mark out my zone, right? The last high with the corresponding high that could not break the last high. Okay, so we had this last high, the corresponding high that could not break this last high. What happened here? This is a zone. Price was struggling to break this zone. Okay, so boom. What later happened? Price finally broke this zone with this move. So what is this tagged as? This is our indication. This is simply price telling you that under this zone I am likely to sell. And behold, this is what we saw. Price indicated, corrected, and under the zone price continued to the downside, which was our continuation. Yeah, so this is just the class for today, indication. I hope that actually did make any sense to you. If you have any questions, please don't fail to ask me on the comment section. I don't want to keep this video too long. That's why I'm breaking it into the small parts for better understanding. Yeah, so in just a couple of days or hours, I will be dropping uh, the next video, which is going to deal on the next phase, which is correction. Correction. We have just finished with indication, so we'll be dealing with correction. Okay. Yeah. So do have a nice day, and I hope you've been able to gain something. Please ask questions in the comment section if you don't get anything right, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification sound so that you can always be kept abreast on the videos that I upload. And yeah, see you on the next one.